Hello and welcome to this week's tutorial where I'll be showing you how to create a navigation bar for your website. So the first thing you need to do is create your new canvas. So if you go to File and New, and we're going to be creating something for the web this week. So if you go down under the presets to Web, and I'm going to be using this size here. Your resolution needs to be set to 72. Because we're doing it for screen resolution this week rather than print, and your colour mode needs to be for RGB as that's how screens work. We're going to leave it at 8-bit for this tutorial, and if you click OK you should get your canvas open something like this. So the first thing you need to do is locate this here. If you can't find it, it's likely that you need to click and hold on your rectangle tool, because I'm sure yours will look something like that. If you scroll down to the rounded rectangle tool, and I've lost my tools, just open them again. They're hiding. Okay, and select your colour. I'm going to go for kind of a bluish colour, maybe a little bit bluer than that. But you can pick whatever you like, and if you click and hold and drag you'll get this kind of rectangle. We're going to create this navigation bar, so I'm just going to release there when I'm happy with it. And as you can see under your layers, it's created it as a shape there rather than as a flat layer. You can create a flat layer if you want to by rasterizing your layer, which I shall do. And then I'd like you to go to the top there to Window, and if you open up the rulers, it might be under View actually on this one. Yeah, under View. Your rulers are just along the top and side here. If you click and drag you can pull them out over there, and I'm just going to place a ruler on the two here, but I'm going to do one every 3, something like that. Oh, that one didn't quite work. So we've got one there. I'm going to place about 4 in. Put another one there. And then I'll put a final one in. You can just see that my ruler here is not quite worked. So I need to move that one if it'll let me. Okay, so now I'm just going to position this navigation bar that we created so that it fits within these guides here. These guides are later going to be used for ensuring that your buttons are all the same size. So if you click Control and T, or if you'd prefer you can go into the edit there and click Free Transform. And then if you hold down Shift you can just reposition it. Now it looks a little bit thin at the moment, but I think that's okay for what we're designing today. Once you're happy and it fits within those guides there, you just double click. So the next thing we need to do is put some text on these here. So if you find the text tool, and I'm going to use a different colour, slightly darker. I won't go to full black, but if you go to sort of this greyish colour here. Sometimes black looks a little bit too stark. And just type in, so I'm going to create this home button. I don't like that font, so we can change the fonts along the top here. So if you just highlight your text, and we'll just pick something really simple, something like impact or something like that. Try this one. Not so keen on that either. That'll be fine for now. So Actually, no, I am going to change it. I'll just use something standard like that. Okay. So it's looking a little bit big at the moment for our background, so I am going to change the background slightly, make it slightly wider. So if you just select the layer again just down here, and if you click Ctrl and T again, we'll just make it slightly fatter. Go back to your text layer, and then you can use the move tool up here, and if you use your arrows on your keypad to just position it so that it looks aligned with the centre. Okay, what we're going to do now then is duplicate that. So if you go back to your layer, and if you click and drag and hold it over this little, what looks like a little notepad down here, it will duplicate it. So you should get something that says home copy. And if you hold down shift, it will allow you to drag it in a straight line so that everything's aligned. And we'll just do that again for each button. Okay, something like that. Now if you go back to your text tool, and we can change these again, so we'll just change them slightly. Would help if your keyboard actually does what you want. And you can see this contact us is slightly bigger, so we might even have to reduce the size of our text down. Oh, there's a little bit of a delay on the keyboard. So it's going to be a little bit of a squeeze to fit that in there, so I'm going to go back into the text tool and we're going to take the size of these down. So if you just look along the top here, you should be able to alter your font size. So if we take it down to around about 24, do that for all of them, for the letters. Okay, and then you can realign your contactors using the move tool there again. Okay, so you should have something that looks like that to start off with. Now we're going to have to separate these buttons, so I'm going to create a line in between these for now. So this time if you click and hold over the rectangle tool and go to the line tool, we're going to create a little bit of a highlight to give it kind of a very slight 3D effect. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, so if you click Ctrl and plus, you'll be able to zoom in slightly. And then if you hold down shift on your keyboard, it should maintain a straight line, something like that. You can duplicate it if you like, or draw them out for each one. You will need to click and hold with your mouse to draw these out. You should have something like that. Just zoom out slightly again. Okay, and we're just going to duplicate that, but this time we're going to move them slightly. So we've got the shape duplicated, and if you just click your arrows on your keypad again, just move them slightly to the right, except for this time we're going to change the colour to white. So if you zoom in, you should be able to see it ever slightly. We need to use the move tool for that. So it'll be something very subtle at the moment. But if we just get rid of the guides, if we go to view, and then if we get rid of clear guides, if you zoom in slightly, you can see it gives it kind of a 3D effect. At the moment it's quite prominent though, so I'm going to take this opacity down slightly. And there you go, you get a bit of separation there now in between your buttons. So you can use that as a navigation bar just as basic design. But if you want to, and obviously you can see here we've got quite a lot of room, so if we were going to use this, I would suggest if you hold Shift and then click Control and T, you can actually alter the size of it if you want so it fits across your whole page. I'm going to squeeze it down a little, although that does look a little bit squashed. Okay, when you're happy, double click. So we've got something like that, which is a basic navigation bar. Now if you go File, Save for Web and Devices, and then if you click PNG 24, this will allow you to open it in Dreamweaver. We'll just save this. I'll save it under my pictures or something like that, and we'll just call it navigation bar or nav bar for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is create the highlight. So if we go back to these text boxes here, and I'm just going to use the text tool again, and we'll go back over it. We'll do it a white colour this time. Maybe make it a bit brighter. And what I'm going to do here as well is if you go to right click, blending options, I will create a bit of an outer glow so it's got a little bit of a glow to it, although I think that's a little bit bright, so we'll just take the glow down slightly to 50%. We'll need to remember that for the rest of them. So again, you can copy this colour by the way. So if we just copy this number here, easy to remember because it's F all the way along. And you can paste that. So I've just been using Control and Z and Control and V to paste. So we get exactly the same colour for the highlight. Okay, and just do that one as well. And then again, go into all of these, go to the blending options, set the outer glow to 50%. We'll do that for each one. Right click, blending options, outer glow, 50% again, and then the final one. Okay, and again, if you just go File, Save for Web and Devices again, ensure that it's PNG 24. This time we'll save it as nav rollover. So we'll just set it as nav rollover. And then when you get to Dreamweaver, you should be able to import these and use them as a highlight. And that's it. Okay, thanks for listening.